Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Age 40 Years. My name is Greg, and today we're diving into something a little different than what I've done so far since I launched the channel. Not different in that there's a bottle of bourbon in front of me and a glass of bourbon in front of me, but a little different in the fact that we're going to look at something that's more on the budget side of the bourbon world. So I think that bourbon over the last few years has had some really great product come out. But also the price escalation has really taken off. I don't buy anything on secondary. I don't recommend people do. In fact, there's very few bourbons that I would ever tell somebody to even consider looking on secondary for. I try and buy it what I can get it for on the shelf. If a store's going to mark it up a little bit, I'm okay with that. I understand that they're running a business. I will not pay secondary prices at a store, and I'll stop shopping at stores that mark stuff up. In fact, there's one by me in Lexington, South Carolina, that I've just stopped shopping at because it's just not, I don't think that they are fair to the consumer, and I vote with my wallet. Other people are welcome to shop there, but I'm not going to. So today we're going to focus on something on the cheaper side. So what I've got here is benchmark bonded. Now bonded means, of course, that it's going to be at 100 proof. It's aged at least 4 years. This one says it is aged 4 years, so it's 4-year whiskey. This is produced by Buffalo Trace, Sazerac Company. And this is about, depending on where you are, this is about 20, 23, 25 bucks maybe. When they first came out with a benchmark series, or I guess not first came out, but when they really start hitting the shelves again, they came out with single barrel and the bonded and a couple others. I tried a few. I tried the single barrel. I don't have one of those anymore. This is the only one I have at the moment. But the bonded was one. I like bonded whiskey. I like the 100 proof price point, or proof point, excuse me. I find that it's enough where you get some punch typically, but not so much that's hitting you in the face. I do tend to move from the 100 further up. So I go more from 100 to, then I like the 105s, 110s, 115s, and less of the down. Now, I, like a lot of us, I started out with your Basil Hayden, right? Your standard 90 proof bourbon. Nothing against it, but I like just a little bit higher proof point because I think the flavors are a little bit better. So let's go ahead and give this a go today. I just poured this, bottle wise, there's not a whole lot of detail here. It is, there's a little story on the side. I'm not going to read that, but something about a canoe and McAfee antivirus software. And I'm just kidding, it's a different McAfee, not the punter from the Indianapolis Colts. Go Colts. But let's give it a shot, see what we think. So we'll start with the nose. Well, immediately oak, but a good oak. That's a pretty good nose for a 4-year product. That doesn't taste young at all. Or, excuse me, it doesn't smell young at all. That's pretty oaky. It smells like when you're doing woodwork, which I don't do a lot of, but I have made a few things, okay? I'm not like completely incompetent. I just don't make much. I've made some like built-in shelves for our house and a few other things. A drying rack for clothes, just your basic household stuff. But this smells like freshly cut lumber, but specifically, I don't even know what it's called, but like I guess it's MDF. When you cut that with a saw, that's what I get here. Maybe a little caramel on the back end of that. A little bit of cinnamon from just the natural, the bourbon-y cinnamon. Nothing overly exceptional in that though. But man, to me it just tastes like somebody cut some MDF. Who is it? Maybe my 13-year-old's cut MDF in the other room. It's probably unlikely. If so, let's hope that we get through without any injuries. Let's give it a taste though. Okay. 100 proof, bonded, sub 30 bourbon. That's a pretty darn good palate. Same thing. I get baking spice on this. I'm starting to learn. You know, one of the things I've mentioned in other videos is one of the reasons I'm doing this is I want to learn. I want to learn how to pick stuff out, and I think I'm starting to learn either I'm getting baking spice or I'm getting nutmeg, and I at this point I don't know which it is. I'm too afraid to ask, but it's baking spice or nutmeg in Benchmark Bonded. You can take that to the bank, and it's pretty good. Now, the oak is still there, but this, oddly, this is gonna sound weird. I don't really like Jim Beam product that much. Like, I've tried the Knob Creek 12 twice. I've had 2 bottles of it, and I drank it, but that dusty peanut taste is just not for me. Except this has a little bit of it, but it's more faint. So I get a little bit of peanut butter in it. Maybe it's like a sweeter peanut flavor. It's not as dusty and like peanut sawdust. A lot of sawing references in this one. But I think that this one does it better, quite frankly, than some of the Beam or Knob Creek product, which is quite surprising given the price point. But I like it. The finish, 100 proof. Finish is good. Here's the deal. I actually picked this out because I was like, all right, my last 2 videos have been pretty positive. Let's try something that maybe isn't as strong of a contender. And either I just like everything, which I know isn't true. Shout out to Yellowstone Toasted. Cannot stand that bottle. But I picked this one thinking this will be something where I can have a little bit more differentiated opinion. Maybe it's not as strong of a opinion. And dang it, it's good. I like it. The palate, good. The nose, good. Both different but complex for a 4-year bourbon. Like, that's the thing, is this 4-year bourbon. That's remarkable. I don't know. Something about this is good. I hate that I like it so much, if I'm being honest with you. But I don't, because it's easy to find. I can go to any store in Lexington right now. It won't be marked up, I don't think. Somebody probably will. It won't be marked up, and it'll be on the shelf. And I mean, what more can you ask for 20 or 30 bucks? I think you find this closer to 20 to 25, but it's been a minute since I bought this one. Just some other notes. Uniqueness wise, I think this one's, oh, you know what? I didn't do the finish. I'm sorry. Uniqueness wise, or finish wise, though, is pretty good finish. Pretty oaky, a little bit leathery. Zero sweetness on the finish to me. The hug is pretty good though. I still get that dusty quality in it. I take that back. It's not sweetness on the finish, but that peanut butter flavor does kind of linger there in the end. If you like that, oh, I know what this reminds me of. This is why I like it. Reminds me of a Reese's peanut butter cup. The peanut butter that is in a Reese's peanut butter cup. That is what this reminds me of. Not as sweet, so a little less like an oaky Reese's peanut butter cup, with a little bit of spice. I think you get a little bit of rye spice in there, but that's what it is. This just reminds me of a Reese's peanut butter cup, and that didn't hit me till I really went back and looked at the finish again. So look, at the end of the day, what would I say about this? Uniqueness for me is that you've got yourself a Buffalo Trace product for those of you that like to hunt it. I understand all that, the drama that comes with that. But this allows you to taste some of their product. It's on the shelf today. It's a low but aggressive enough proof point that it's not going to blow you up, but allows you to maybe explore something a little higher if you're into that Basil Hayden or higher. Allows you to kind of maybe graduate. Something similar, I'd say, like an Eagle Rare can do, although a different proof point. But this isn't as hard to find, and the price point's exceptional. So, Buffalo Trace gets a lot of flack for the bourbon they produce and the way it's allocated and all that. But look, at the end of the day, they are one of the best producers out there, in my opinion. And surprisingly, this one stands right there with it. So I'm a little surprised today. I'd suggest maybe go out and give it a try. It's hard to go wrong for a $20 to $25 product. Look, if you don't like it, put it in a decanter and save it for somebody who's just getting into bourbon. Let them try it. The risk is low. You know, what I was saying at the beginning is this is a lower price point product. It allows you to explore. It allows you to try it without the risk of spending 100 to 125 on something you're not going to like. I did a review or a tasting earlier on a product that I didn't really care for, and fortunately I got it on closeout, but you know, it was still more than this, and I would drink this over that. I'm not going to name it. You can go watch a video if you want, but that's how I feel. I think it's they've done a nice job here. I would suggest this one as a regular to look for, as a easy daily drinker, that I think would compete with like the Jim Beam 7 from last year, personally. With that, if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe. Please leave comments. Comments really help me tailor the content that I'm making, the videos that I'm making. Do you like the blinds? Do you like the tastings? Do you like that I say something? Do you like that I don't? But it's helpful for me to be able to understand if I'm going to keep doing this, what I should be doing. So I appreciate you watching. As always, please drink responsibly, and cheers.